science to keep the product stable throughout its use.
The stabilized retinol technology, there's more than 17 patents associated with this product. I mean, this is a company that we know and trust. It's a company that has tons of longevity in the beauty industry, and it's a product that works very well. The clinical studies prove that. It's not just dermatologists' opinions.
It's been around longer than you and I have.
It's absolutely, and this is that upper echelon division of Neutrogena.
Right, even more so. Now, we were talking about accumulative benefits. If you just look to the right, this glass of water was filled up, maybe with a half a cup of water, and we were talking about what happens to the skin when the wrinkle filler is applied. Look what happened. There's no more water in there.
The other ingredient in here is hyaluronic acid, and I hold this sponge as just sort of an example. I use it to make an analogy that you can imagine the hyaluronic acid is a dried sponge, and when it's exposed to that moisture in your skin, holds up to 1,000 times its weight in water. So you really see that nice lifting effect, that plumping effect, and that's where you see that clinical difference on those lines and wrinkles. And we talked about it being, it's called a wrinkle filler. I call it a wrinkle fighter, and I tell people fight is the right word because you want to actively fight against the aging process. It's not going to take a lot of time. It's not going to take a lot of effort, just 30 seconds a day, which really, I mean, who's so busy they can't fit in 30 extra seconds a day? And so there's not a lot of excuses out there. But
not with these kind of benefits. You can work it in somehow.
Exactly.
Can we actually talk about what a wrinkle is and why, why it happens to us?
Sure, I'd be happy to. There's another analogy I make for that. If you take a piece of paper and you fold it and you make a harsh crease in there and then unfold it, that's a great way to think of a wrinkle.
Okay.
And when you use this, now imagine you do that with a big stack of paper.
Right.
When you use a product that has a stabilized retinol technology, when you use a product that has the hyaluronic acid in it, you can think of it as lifting and peeling off those layers to diminish and decrease the look of that wrinkle in your stack of paper.
So you're saying that a wrinkle is actually layers and layers?
Well, it's just a cumulative effect of muscle movement over time that manifests itself as a line in the skin.
Right.
And when you're using the right products, you can diminish the look of those lines.
It's going to help you in every way, and most importantly, help you feel better, maybe give you back the confidence that you've been longing for or looking for in other product lines. Come on over to the world of Neutrogena. Item 431435, this is the Retinol NX Wrinkle Filler. Feel free to multi-pack it in with our serum, and we'll talk about what can happen in just one application.
One application alone, 72% of users in a clinical study showed improvement in the appearance of crow's feet fine lines. You also get that exceptional hydration lasting up to 24 hours because that humectancy and that moisturization is so important during the course of the aging process. After 4 weeks, and this is where I really start to see those nice results, 90% of users showed improvement in the appearance of crow's feet fine lines, and 81% of users showed improvement in overall younger looking skin, younger appearance.
And that's all what we're looking for. When we're younger, we're not thinking about it so much, but as we get older, this is what happens to our face.
Sure, and once again, this picture really doesn't do it justice. You may have to, hopefully you'll have a high def and you'll look close.
Just actually look in your own mirror.
That's a great way to do it. If you look at the forehead in particular, over the course of 8 weeks, you really notice a nice difference in those forehead creases, those wrinkles on the forehead, even the deep wrinkles, but also the 11s in between the brow. We call them 11s because they look like 11s. Sometimes it's just a 1, sometimes it's 111, depending how many creases you have there. But it really makes a difference with those as well.
So even if you target those areas, and those are the most concerning efforts of your skincare regime, to just dab it there and rub it across the lines, it's pretty
so
easy.
simple to use, and I apologize because I probably didn't do a great job of explaining that earlier, but just a droplet amount applied to those wrinkles. You don't have to rub it in, you just apply it to the surface. It'll absorb on its own. And in as fast as 10 minutes, you'll see a difference.
And it's the difference that we're looking for in our skincare. And if it's not happening for you now, maybe it's in the packaging, maybe it's in the ingredients of the product. Maybe you're saying, well, I have retinol, it's in my cabinet, or I have a product that has hyaluronic acid. Well, it depends on the quality of the ingredients. It also depends on how the product is stabilized. And if those factors aren't worked into it, then the product becomes disabled.
100%. I think that's a great way to think of it. If you have products in your medicine cabinet, you have products in a drawer, you look at them, you can't even remember what they're for, there's a reason for that. You're not using them because they didn't work for you.
Right.
And they probably don't have those superior technologies in them. They're probably not stabilized. If you've had them over the course of months and months and months, or even, God forbid, years, my recommendation is take that bag and throw it in the garbage because they're not working for you for a reason. And there's
probably
no point.
Expired anyways,
It's
too,
probably,
right?
I mean, the fact is, if they're not stabilized, they just become a base basic moisturizer, if that at all. The active ingredients are no longer active.
Well, with the staying power of 40 years, Neutrogena has continued to be around and advancing into the world of a more I always have trouble with that word.
Dermatologics.
Thank you.
Neutrogena Dermatologics.
Moving into a more advanced skincare, it's the one step before you actually get a prescription from your dermatologist. And maybe prescriptions in the past, as Barb from Scarborough talked about, that retinol didn't agree with her because it is a very powerful and very potent and very effective ingredient, but sometimes it's too much in a prescribed form. This is a way of still getting those benefits, right, but over an extended period of time.
And once again, I have access to every single dermatological product out there, and this is what I choose for myself. So not that I'm the end-all be-all, but when you're talking to a board-certified dermatologist and you ask him or her what he uses when they're using a product, obviously that's testament to how well it works.
And sought after by other teachers at universities in the States. So also looking as an associate clinical professor.
I mean, once again, it's like I think a lot of times people give their opinion out there and they can't really quantify or qualify their opinion. And at the risk of self-aggrandizement, I feel like I'm uniquely qualified to give information about this product based on my credentials. I'm a board-certified dermatologist. I use the product myself. And the clinical studies, an independent dermatologists were done that, having nothing to do with me personally, and it was a blind study, so Neutrogena Dermatologics had no effect on it either. The statistics and the studies associated with this line speak for themselves.
And we know you're not 21, but you still look like it. So I mean, your skincare is looking good, and you live in this, the state with the most sun.
Absolutely.
So you're still looking great, and I know that you treat a lot of women there too. Beverly Hills, all the way to our doorsteps here in Canada. It's the only place you can find Neutrogena. We're going to continue on shopping, and we're going to also look at a line that you can only get here at the Shopping Channel. It's Seagal Style. Join us here in the days to come to find out more about this great jewelry line here.
This bold...
Thanks for joining us here at the Shopping Channel. My name is Orlena Kane. It's great to be along with you in this hour. I'm very proud to be showcasing a brand new product that's been here before, but it's brand new to us here at the Shopping Channel. I know many of you have already bought it, and it's already backed by popular demand. It's called Neutrogena, and I'm sure it's not a brand that you're unfamiliar with, but Dermatologics is back with us, and so is Dr. Kirby. Nice to have you here.
Nice to see you.
Always
Thank you
a pleasure.
very much. If you're just tuning in now, I'll repeat a lot of the things I said.
Yes, you will.
But I'm hoping people can really use this as an educational time and really understand about not only these products in particular, but also just overall skincare regimes.
Confident and consistent. That's what we look for in good guests. 430-435. It is our Neutrogena Dermatologics Retinol NX Serum at $75. Don't get scared when you hear the word retinol because this is a non-prescription basis serum, but still very powerful effects.
Very much so. It's from Neutrogena Dermatologics, which is that specialized professional division of Neutrogena, and it really focuses on the unique partnership between scientists and dermatologists. They create products for the more discriminating skincare needs, and I can tell you, as a board-certified dermatologist in Beverly Hills, the most discriminating people in the world are there, both in a good way and a bad way. And I tell them, if you can please patients in Beverly Hills, you can please them anywhere, because they're very, very concerned about the aging process.
And you've had a bit of a career in television. You've appeared on other TV shows, and you know how important the appearance is, on TV, but in day-to-day life too. Many people feel that they get turned over for a promotion or advance, or maybe they're recently going through a divorce or changes in life are happening, and you feel your youth is slipping away from you faster than you would like. Then here is a way of giving you back your youth. Whether you be 18 or 80, it's never too soon or never too late to start.
Well, superior anti-aging benefits is the one phrase that is associated with this product, and it gives you a more youthful, more beautiful appearance. And you touched on that. I mean, the fact of the matter is, as unfortunate as it is society is very ageist. So, protecting your skincare is, and choosing the right skincare line can be very important in success.
And the flip side of that, more and more people are looking at better ways of taking care of their skin, because somewhere along the 80s and early 90s, it kind of got muddied, and we were over tanning, and everything was in excess in the 80s, right? The haircuts, the clothing. And then the 90s came down, and now we're kind of countering the benefit, the loss of a lot of things. Environmental factors are working against us every day.
Well, I think so many things have changed over the course of the last 10 years, 15 years, 20 years in terms of education, but also technology. And the products that we have today are relatively new. They have been studied. They have a long track record of superior benefits, but we didn't have those in the past. And when we talk about this product in particular, it has stabilized retinol technology, which we'll get into, but it also has tetrol E, which is another proprietary ingredient that makes this exclusive formulation so efficacious.
Well, let's just talk about that. This is a 2-month supply in this bottle, so you're thinking $75, 30, a few dollars, 40 some odd dollars, and you don't even, or 30 some odd dollars, $37.50.
Over the course of the month, I tell people, really, if you're spending a little more than $1 a day on your skincare line, that's not a lot to ask. It's less than a cup of coffee, and it can make a very big difference in your appearance. Also, I love the fact that you put this on your hand here, because people say to me, Dr. Kirby, I don't know if that's enough for me. This is the perfect amount. A pearl size amount is enough to cover your entire face. If you notice, it goes on very, very smooth. It is a serum. So we talk about some things absorb better than others, and there's ointments, there's gels, there's creams. Serums are the best way to have, in my clinical opinion, to have a anti-aging product enter into the upper layer of your skin.
And why is that?
Serums are just associated with a couple words: satin, silky, smooth. Those are some of the words that allow it to spread very uniformly, because people don't want products that are very thick on their face.
Right.
And because either it feels sort of sticky and tacky, or they just want to make sure that it's penetrating uniformly, and that's why we really recommend serums. The dermatological industry in general really is in love with serums.
What about the efficacy of serum versus a moisturizer?
Well, I tell people not everyone needs a moisturizer, and it also depends. It depends on your age. It depends on your heritage. It also depends on where you live.
Right.
For me, I have generally speaking, I have an oily complexion, so I never need a moisturizer. Someone who's in a very, very dry environment, they may
Which happens in our winter times up
exactly.
here.
In that case, you may need a moisturizer, and it's absolutely fine to use a moisturizer with this line. The Neutrogena Dermatologics line in general is used for all skin types, from the most sensitive skin to someone like myself who has more resistant skin, oilier complexion, but it is well tolerated amongst all different skin types.
And that's important too, because you don't need to go, looking online and wondering, am I normal to oily, or doing the oily tests and trying to find out where you fit in there. This will respond to your skin immediately, and it's kind of instinctively.
Well, you get very quick results, and I always tell people, and I like to educate them about this fact. It takes a good 35 to 57 days for any skincare product that is efficacious to really start seeing those clinical results. So,
and the reason being, does that also work within our skin cell cycle
your cells are constantly being born, and they're constantly sloughing off, and this is occurring every single day. In children, that process is very, very fast, and that's why kids have uniform skin in terms of tone, texture, color. As we age, that process slows down, and what happens? Your skin gets dull. It loses its luminosity. It isn't as tight and as firm as it used to be. And what do? We want to increase that surface cell turnover, and we want to restore a more youthful, more beautiful appearance. And that's exactly what a stabilized retinol technology does. Increasing surface cell turnover penetrates through the upper layer of the stratum corneum, and it provides you with that more youthful appearance.
And what we're looking for is a reduction in wrinkles, a reduction in a lot of different factors of better skin. We want an appearance of a more youthful face, and I know that there's been studies done on the Neutrogena retinol serum, and they are abundant. For a company that's been around for 40 years, they take what they do very seriously, and now they've taken what they do into a more advanced skincare. 100%.
Neutrogena Dermatologics, specialized professional division of Neutrogena. It provides you professional level solutions, cutting edge technology, and it's really for people who want to kickstart their anti-aging regime. It's for people who aren't going to be passive, aren't going to sit back and just age gracefully. They're going to fight the aging process, and that's why people come to see me at my dermatology practice in Beverly Hills. They say, Dr. Kirby, I really want to do everything I can to fight this process. Can you give me education about it? And I say, absolutely. Let's build a hierarchy. Number one, broad spectrum sunscreen every single day. Number two, a product that has stabilized retinol technology. Dermatologists love stabilized retinol technology. More than 2,800 publications have shown that retinol is the gold standard in any anti-aging regime. So the analogy I make at my office in Beverly Hills is, to build a house, you have to first have a strong foundation. You can't just build, you may build the most beautiful house in the world, but if it doesn't have a strong foundation, it's not going to last. And that's where stabilized retinol technology, preferably with tetrol E, comes into play.
And we had spoke earlier about products that you may already have in your little basket of beauty products by your sink. and you're looking at the ingredients and you say, well, this one has retinol. Maybe, I don't know when the last time I had this. Well, I don't even know when I bought this. You don't know. But it's not working for you anymore. That is also a big factor, is that if you have products that have been there too long, or they're not quality products, or the efforts of stabilizing them haven't been there, then that product is rendered useless. It's not going to work for you.
People call my office all the time. They make an appointment to come see me, and I say to them, listen, bring in the products you're using. I want to see what you're currently using. People will come in with a sack. They'll come in with a grocery bag of products, and I lay them all on the table, and I said, when was the last time you used this? A while back. Well, why'd you stop? It wasn't working. What about this? It wasn't working. What about this? It wasn't working. And we take them, and we throw them in the garbage. If you're using products or you own products